Okay, we'll get a question from Father Philip.
Yes, I really appreciate what's being said by the panel, but I'd like to just focus in on Divine Word. Here we're preparing people for communication, for journalism, and for the media. And I just wonder if you'd have a comment on what, not just what skill sets, but what mindset would you like to see in people when they graduate from Divine Word University? What sort of, maybe a mention of skill set, but more mindset would you like to see in order for us to really be promoting the spirit of what we're talking about today?
Okay, so after we become, after being here as students, we're going to be out there in the world as citizens. And as citizens, we need to be informed about what our country's laws are. We need to be informed about what our rights are. We need to be informed about what our responsibilities are. Most times we're in school, we finish school, we go out, and we're just focused about finding a job and everything else, doing our work all the time, and we forget our obligation as a citizen until it comes to election and say, oh, we need to vote. Oh, I don't know how to read the ballot paper. I'm not sure if I have my name on the common roll or the electoral roll. But so when we are still here in school, it's important that we keep informed as citizens, keep informed about what's happening in our country, keep informed about what our government is doing, keep informed about developments that's taking place in our country, and not just in our country, but within our region, in the Pacific region, and wider in Asia Pacific as well. So that when we move out, you're well versed, you're able to do your work, having that mindset of being a responsible citizen, so that every time, not every time, but when you go out, you understand your role as a journalist, or your role as a teacher, or your role as whatever it is that you become. So you're able to do that effectively, like what Scott was saying, don't choose the glamour of the work, but what the impact that you can do. So I see here, I saw on the flyer that went out, I think there's a little quote at the bottom, at the end of knowledge is service to the people, or something like that. Yes, and that spoke to me, and that should really speak to you as well as students from this institution.
I think there's one skill that I look for in people that I think they're going to be ability to think beyond your own perspective. So if you're a man that you understand, you try to understand the perspective of a woman. If you're from the city, you're trying to get a sense of that reality in the rural. If you're a Christian, you're understanding the perspective of a Muslim, and that you're finding a way forward between those very differing views. We will never have unity, and our societies will not move ahead without understanding the differences between the political lines and the ethnic, cultural, religious lines that divide us. And it's the leaders that can pull us forward across those different perspectives. So this is something that you get from university. Very important time in university to dig deeper than your own reality, wider than your own reality. So that's my point. I like that question because it's something that I always see in people that I know are going to go far in life.
In addition to what has been said already, there are 3 points that I have. The first thing is, every student should be reading the National Goals and Directive Principles from 1974. You have to read that. Because time you read him now, but you look him vision and direction belong all founder of the country. There are 5 National Goals and Directive Principles. You have to read them in detail, get an intimate understanding of them. Those 5 National Goals and Directive Principles will get you to understand what it is to be Papua New Guinean. It'll give you the fire that you need to go out and do things. The second point in relation to what Father Phil said, asked, is I'd like to talk about the hallmarks of an educated person. A lot of times people graduate with a degree, they're competent in certain areas, but they have a horrible personality. So when they go out, it's that horrible personality and that bad behavior that gets them sacked. So things like punctuality, turning up on time, first thing. Not being lazy, that's a mindset. Drunkenness and disorderly behavior, that should be out of your life when you get into the real world. So all of those things should be taken into account as a mindset. The third point is go out and experience life while you have the time and space in university. The 6 weeks that you have during your semester break at the end of the year, use those 6 weeks to go to a place that you haven't been to and go and live with your own people. Sleep in a classroom, be hungry, walk long treks and, feel the pain in your muscles. Only through that experience you will appreciate what it means to be Papua New Guinean first and what your people's needs are. So there was a time in my life where I walked in various districts in the Sundown province, so Vanimo Green, Nuku, Aitapelumi, and eventually ended up in Telefomin. Telefomin is a difficult place. The maternal death rate and the infant mortality rate are the highest in Papua New Guinea. That humbled me very much and put me into perspective, put my mind into perspective. So give yourself that life experience before you leave university. While you have the time, while you do not have a family yet, do it.